Hello guys, welcome back again to Code with Clinton. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make a strong password generator with JavaScript. As you can see on my screen, I already have the setup already on the screen, and this is how it works. Whenever I click on the generate password button, a password displays up there. So just see, this is an example. So click on the button. So when I click, you can see this is a password generator. So when I click again, it keeps on generating random password for me, and this password comprises of numbers, uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and some signs or symbols. Understand? That's what the password comprises of. So as you keep clicking, it keeps on generating the password. So in this tutorial, I will show you how to make this with JavaScript. Understand? And we are getting started now. So if you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now so you will not miss my next video. So we are getting started now. So let's get started. Okay, let's get into our text editor. So I already have, here's my text editor. I've already done the HTML. I've already written out the HTML and the CSS for the project. This is the HTML version over here, where I've created the container. The container is the yellow background. This yellow background you see here, and these are the styles for the project. I've written the HTML. So this is the password, where the password enters. So whenever I click on the button, here is the button that we see on the page. This button here, and this black bordered shape is this here. Is what we have in this div ID password container. So I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. So let me close this. So I'm not going to use this again. I'm going to create a new one. So the markup I showed you here, this markup you're seeing here is what produced these outputs here. As you can see, there's no JavaScript attached to this. So if I click, nothing shows. So I'm going to show you how to use it, how to write the JavaScript code that generates this password. If you don't like the way I do my tutorial, if you don't like the way I do the tutorial by just showing the JavaScript aspect, that's showing the HTML and CSS, please comment that below. Like if you want me to do the tutorial from HTML, CSS and to JavaScript, if you like it that way, please just drop that in the comments so I will know and start making a tutorial from HTML, CSS down to JavaScript. But yeah, I'm going to just show you how to do the JavaScript alone, and we are getting started right now. Okay, as I said, we have done the HTML and CSS aspects of this tutorial. What's the message? Just to add the JavaScript to it. And here is my JavaScript file called password.js. So we need to link this to our HTML. So let's do that now. So let's say script source script src equal to name of our JavaScript file called password generator .js, and that's it. Okay, let's get down to our JavaScript file and write the code that generates this password on our browser. So let's get into it now. Okay, this is my JavaScript file over here. I've already set some variables there, so I won't waste much of your time. Understand? So I already have a variable called small letter. This variable is an array that holds some small letter alphabet. You can see A, B, C, X, Y, Z. They are all in small letter. I also have a variable called capital letter. This variable is an array that holds a capital letter. You can see A, B, C, X, Y, Z all in capital letters. I also have a variable called signs that lets us to hold our signs and signs or symbols, whichever way you might want to call it. I also have our number, our figure variable that helps us that holds the number for this password generator project. So let's get into it now. So we need to write a function that's going to bring this. We need to write a function that's going to bring all these together to form a password. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's write this function. So let's say function generates password. That's the name of our function. Generate password. Yeah, generate password. So after declaring this function, we need to put in all these variables inside the function. So just cut and paste, Ctrl X. When you paste it inside, Ctrl V. That's it now. Okay. That's it. So after we've done this now, we need to also create a variable called, we want to create a variable that's going to have that's going to carry all this we're going to create a container variable that's going to carry the variables we have already created. So let's call this variable called, let this variable be called all gits, or let the variable be called all gits, yeah, equal to. So once to placing these variables we have here inside the all digits variable. How I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you how we do that. So let's continue. So this the all digits is going to also be an array. It's going to also be an array whereby I want to place all this inside. So how are we going to place it inside? I'm going to show you that now. In JavaScript array, there's something we call the spread operator. The spread operator helps to spread an array inside a container array. So how does it work now? So this is how we use the spread operator in JavaScript when using arrays. So we say three dot plus the array plus a variable that contains the array wants to use. Three dots. So as you can see now, this small letter variable now, all this what would I call it now? All its contents have all been spread inside this container array, just like we have A, B, C, X, Y, Z inside this all digit array through this syntax called spread, the spread operator. So let's do the same thing for the capital letter, do the same thing for the signs and figure. I see that is it now. I can see all these. Let me show you now. Let me console.log this on the terminal, on the console.log all digits. So let's call this function to see what I'm telling you about. Generate password. So Control S, go down to the browser, F12, pop up. So let's see. You can see all those items have been placed inside this single array. You can see they are all inside this array. They are all inside the all digits array, as I said before. So after we've done this, what are we going to do next now? Okay, we want to loop through this array. This array contains all the numbers, the letters, the symbols we want to use for our function, for our password generator. The all digits variable contains everything. So we need to loop through this all digits variable so you can have access to the individual contents in the array. So I want to loop through this all digits variable. So I'm going to loop through it now. So it's like this. So as I said, we are going to loop through the all digits variable. We're going to loop through it. You know, it's an array. We're going to loop through this array. So how are we going to do that? So let's loop through it. So let's say for let I equal to 0, I is less than all digits dot length. Please, if you don't understand anything in this tutorial, please just drop that in the comment section. I'll be so glad to give you a response. So as to reply you, I'll be so glad to do that. Please drop that in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. As I said, for let I equal to 0, I less than all digits dot length, so I plus plus. So let's assume you guys should already understand how the for loop works in JavaScript now. So I'm looping through this variable called all digits. I'm looping through it. So as this loop is going to run the length is going to run 28. This loop is going to run 28 times. Why? It's following the length of this variable. This variable has a length. So let's see the length of this variable. Console.log all digits.length. Let's see the length. 28. The length of this variable is 28. So this loop is going to run 28 times. As it's going to run 28 times because we are using the length here to run. You see, So I is starting from 0, I is less than all digits dot length, I plus plus. Understand? So from 0 down to all digits dot length, it's going to be 28 times it's going to run. So as this loop is running 28 times, want to write a program that it is running. This program will be picking some items from this all digits variable. Going to be picking some items from the all digits array, picking them randomly. You just pick these items randomly. So when you write a function that as you're looping through the all digits array variable, so as you're looping through, you're going to write a function, a program. We're going to be picking random values from the array. So once you write this program inside the for loop, so as the for loop is running, this program is picking random values, just picking random values. So that's how we're going to form this password generator. Because this program is going to help us pick random values from the array. So I'm going to show you how to write that program now. So let's call this variable let's picker. Because the job is to pick. It picks random values. So in JavaScript, there's something we call math.random. This is math.random. So let me show you. I'm going to explain to you how the math.random works. So let's say let's picker equal to maths.random. Yeah, math.random. So how does the math.random works? Math.random, like if you multiply a number by this math.random. So let me show you on the console. For example, let's say math.random times 5. So you give me 4.8. So again, if you say math.random times 5 again to give you a different value less than 5, this is giving me 1.6. First time it gave me 4.8, second time 1.6. If I keep on doing this, it's going to be giving me random values, but this value will never be greater than 5. You understand? It will never be greater than the 5. So if I say math.random times 10 to give me, if I to give me different values that are lesser than, that are not up to 10. So let me say from 0 down to 9.9 to give me random values in between zeros down to 9.9. You understand? That's how the math.random function works. So I'm going to say math.random times all digits.length. So all digits.length is 28. So all digits.length. So all digits.length is 28. Now I'm going to give me random values from 0 down to 27.9. It's not going to be up to 28. So I see this thing, and as you can see, it's having decimal. We don't want the decimal. We really want the whole number. So how are we going to remove this decimal? There's something also called math.floor in JavaScript. It helps to round down any given decimal it gives to. If you give the math.floor an argument of 4.5, to round it down to 4.9 to round it down to 4. So we want to only get the whole number aspect of this math.random. We don't want to work with the decimal. So we're going to put this inside the math.floor method. So you do that. So you come here and say math.floor. As you can see, so you're going to give us a whole number and not decimal. So let me give you an example now. Let's say math.floor math.random times 5. You can see it's giving me 0. It should have given me, no, it should be inside. So math.floor math.random times 5. You can see it gave me 1. The math.floor helps to round down. It should have been 1 point something, but the round.floor has helped me round down. Just give me the whole number the whole number aspect. It removes the decimal, it rounds down whatever decimal you give to it. You understand? It rounds it down. That's what the math.floor does. And it has done the same thing here. Now, as I said now, this is going to be picking, as I said now, what we wrote here, this program we wrote here now, it's going to be picking the random items from this all digits array. This all digits array contains everything we have here. So this is going to be picking random values from the array. You're going to be picking random values. You're going to be picking, how will I say, you're going to be picking random numbers, like from 0 to 27 0 to 27. You're picking random number from 0 to 27. Random numbers. That's what it's going to be doing. So as I'm speaking that random numbers, so we want to do something with those numbers. Those numbers are so special in this tutorial. So we are going to create an array, an empty array. Let's call this array. Let's call this variable called let's just say let's call it R. You understand? So this is an empty array. So as he's picking these random numbers for us, these numbers are so important to this project. So we're going to use this number so greatly. So let me show you how we are going to use the number. It's going to be picking from the all digit array. So let me show you how I'm going to use the number now. So I created an empty array up there. So I'm going to say that empty array does push. So it's going to push in some items into this empty array we have here. So say r.push all digits. All digits refers to this array that contains all the numbers, letters, and symbols we need for the password generator. So I'm gonna say r.push all digits picker. And this variable refers to this program here that helps us to pick random numbers according to the length of this array. That helps us to pick random values from 0 to 27. 0 to 27, you understand? And all digits here, this all digits refers to the array. And for us to access an array, we use the name of the array, name of the variable that holds the array, with square brackets and number with indexes of the items in the array. So I can say all digits 0 will give me the first item in the array. All digits 0 now. All digits square bracket 0 will give me the first item in the array. All digits square brackets 1 will give me the second item in the array. What this does now is that all digits push all digits picker. All digits square brackets picker. What does it do now? As I said, this picker is holding random values from 0 to 27, from 0 down to 27. As I said, man.random times all digit.length. All digit.length is 28 times man.random. It's going to be 27. It's not going to be greater than 27.9. It's not going to be equal to 28. Understand? So this picker now is getting random numbers from 0 to 27, and in our array we have 28 items. 28 items, and the last element in this array has an index of 27. You understand? Has an index of what? 27. Because we're starting from 0. The first item is 0. That means it was 1. The first item was 1. The last index is going to be 28. But since in arrays the first item is always having an index of 0, that means the last item is going to be the length of the array minus 1. So as I said now, this picker picks random numbers from 0 to 27. So as I pick random number from 0 to 27, so I'm going to say all digits square brackets, any of the number it picks. Any of the number it picks is available in this array. Any of the number it picks is going to be an index in this all digits array. You understand? So I'm pushing them to this empty array that we have here. That's what I'm doing. I'm pushing them into the empty array we have there. So as I've said earlier now, so we're going to return this array. We're going to return it outside of the loop. So we have to return it. So let's say return. Let's return the array. The array now. So after we return now, let's console.log this to return to the let's console.log generate passwords. Let's see what it gives us. As you can see now, that empty array now has some values inside, some items inside. You can see they are all random random content from the all digits array. So once to convert this array to a string, we need to convert it to a string. We need to convert this empty array that we created before. We need to convert it to a string. So how are we gonna do that now? So we're gonna say let's remove the return statement. So let's say, okay, Ctrl Z. Can say return r.join. It's gonna be a string now. Return r.join. The join method helps to convert arrays to string. So let's see. As you can see now, it's now a string. It's no longer inside the array again. It's no longer inside array. See, it's now strings. But you can see the string is too long. Let's make it 10. It's just too long. So let's reduce the length to 10. We need 10 items. We don't need something as long as that. So let's reduce it to 10. So let's say r.length should be equal to 10. We don't want something as much as that. You can see now we now have 10 digits now forming our password. We have 10 digits from our password, so it's now working fine. But wait, as I showed you earlier before, I said whenever I click on this button, it shows here. So let me implement that as fast as possible. So we have written the function that does that now. So let's make it in such a way that whenever we click on this button, it shows here. So let me show you how we do that now. So we have written the code already. There's something we call event listener in JavaScript. Event listener is a kind of function that works in a way that it responds to events. So if an event takes place, it's going to call a function. Event listener, that's how it works. Let me show you how event listener works here in JavaScript. So once you place that event listener on this button, generate password button, you want to place that event listener on this button. So we need to pick this button with our JavaScript. We are going to pick it using the ID. We are going to pick it using this. The button has an ID, so we are going to pick it using the button's ID. So let's get into it now. Let's say let's button equals document.getElement by ID. Document.getElements by ID btn. The ID of that button element is btn. So the button is now available in our JavaScript now. And we need to add this event listener that whenever we click on the button, it's going to display the text here. So let me show you how we do that now as fast as possible. So let's say button.add event listener. So we need to add the event listener to the button. So button.add event listener. So what kind of event are we adding to the button? We're adding a click event. So whenever you click on the button, it runs the function. So let's click event. And the name of the function you need it to run. We need the button to run this function whenever we click it. It should run this generate password function whenever we click it. So put in generate password there, generate password without parentheses. So the generate password is already there, the generate password function is already there. So we don't need to call it again. Because whenever we click on the button calls it now. So we don't need to call it again. So that is it now. So after that, we also need to pick this ID password container. We need to pick it also because we are going to display the results in this password container. So we need to pick it with our JavaScript and it has an ID of password container. So let's pick it with JavaScript also. Let's say results equal to documents.getElement by ID password container. So that's it now. So password container. So whenever we click, so we've picked the results div already. So I'm going to say whenever we click on this, so whenever we click, wait, something went wrong. Okay, nothing went wrong. So whenever I click, so when I say that, so I'm coming, just give me some moment, let me show you something. Console.log. So let's refresh the page. As you can see now, so whenever I click now, whenever we click on the button, it generates the password for us on the console. Before we just refresh the page, whenever we refresh the page, the password shows on the browser's console. But whenever we click, you see the event listener is working. Whenever we click, it generates the password for us. Whenever we click, that is how I want it to be. So let's want to make it to the way that whenever we click, it displays here. So how are we gonna do that now? Let me show you how we'll do that now. So we're gonna say result of inner text. Result means results dot inner text. Inner text rather. Inner text means what should be inside the result container. What should be the contents of the result container? The content should be equal to result of inner text should be equal to r dot join. It should be equal to this. Cut it out. It should be equal to this and paste here. Ctrl V. Remove this. So save your work and go back now. So whenever let's click, you can see. Well, there's a problem. It's not changing. What could have been the problem? What's the problem here? You can see it's not giving us another password. What could have been the problem? So let's go down to our code and check what the problem is. Let's check if our console has any issue. There's no issue on the console, so it should be in the code. So let's check. We'll solve this out right now. What's the problem? Why are you not updating? Why are you not updating? Why are you not giving us a name? Oh, this should be inside the function. Control X. The empty array should be declared inside the function, not outside. Control V. So let's see if it works this time. It should work. It should work. It should work. So yeah, it's working super fine. Now it's giving us different passwords. This is generating different passwords for us now. Please, we've got the end of the tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to know I would love to hear your thoughts. Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. Drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be super glad to give you a response, to answer you, to give you a reply. I'll be super glad to speak with you. Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. And please subscribe to this channel called The Clinton. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, please. Please subscribe so you won't miss my next video. Thank you so much for coming again. I love you all. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed. Bye bye.